As recently as last year, I was involved in a program mentoring at-risk children. It's called Kids Hope. And that program pairs a community church with a local public school, and then they create one-on-one mentor programs, and it's the responsibility of the mentors to visit those children at least once a week, usually at the lunch hour. They might have lunch with them, might help them with their studies, maybe go outside and play some activities, but most importantly, the mentor is there to support them. And the other mentoring program I've been involved in, it's been some years now, is Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. I had a little in Washington, D.C. His name was Michael Brown, and then I had to move, and I went to Springfield, Illinois, and I got involved in the program again, and I had a little there named Clarence Davis. In both of those programs, the one thing that is really stressed in the training is that you are faithful to your commitments to those children no matter what. It's a big deal. I was blessed growing up, and then the week that I've spent sort of thinking about this homily for today, I was racking my memory to try to remember one single time when my mom or my dad failed to meet a commitment to me, and I couldn't come up with anything. They were there when I was playing Little League. They were there when I needed to be picked up from school. They were there when I needed a lunch made every day. They were there. They honored their commitments. Sadly, not all children are brought up that way. So in these programs, it is one thing that is truly stressed more than anything. It can be the most important thing that we as mentors do for those children, to know that they have someone, something that they can count on. In other words, we're expected to say that our yes means yes and our no means no. You know, that's not just some old adage. That's from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, Sermon on the Mount. Our yes is to mean yes and our no, no. And it seems that one of the challenges of our day is that we have lost the sense of value for being true to our word. It may seem often like it doesn't really matter. Is that what we believe or think as Christians? No, we recognize here at the Catholic Student Center, your Catholic, your campus ministers, your deacons, your priests, that we have been given a great responsibility to help form students at a very important stage in their lives. They are going to be exposed to all sorts of ideas and notions of good and evil that will stay with them the rest of their lives. And for those of us who are not students, the challenges are the same. Maybe sometimes we can rely on our own experiences and so be better equipped. Sometimes. It's important that we say what we mean and mean what we say. If we make a promise, do we keep it? Is it okay to make promises to people and then not honor them? That's the message of the gospel today. And what's that answer? Which of the two did the Father's will? Well, it can seem very obvious. So why do we need to hear this message if it's so obvious? Well, simply put, we need to hear this message because its importance can easily be diminished in our culture. Our country, this great country, is founded on certain principles. People have certain expectations about what their government will do for them, what their family will do for them, what their community will do for them. Well, what if that breaks down? What if we are told instead that people who expect anything from anyone other than themselves, well, then they're ill-equipped for the realities of life in our current culture? Well, that is not how we have operated as a country for the better part of the past 250 years. We were founded on the highest of principles. We were founded on Christian principles. Our founding fathers and mothers were religious people who were incapable of separating their faith and their religious background from the Constitution that they created and the laws that they enacted. One of our most iconic testaments to this idea is the Declaration of Independence. And it says this, and I'm sure you all know this. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator, it's a religious statement, by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among us, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. I want to repeat that for the point of emphasis. We hold these truths. Truths are not something that can be discarded by the whim of the governors. They are relied on by those who are governed. Pontius Pilate famously asked Jesus, "Quid verum?" What is truth? And what does Jesus tell us? He is the truth. What he teaches is the truth. That is the good news of Jesus Christ. He taught so many things that people of the day thought were impossible. And we, of course, have come to learn otherwise. All he spoke was truth. We cannot accept the notion that to be an honorable person, one who has integrity, one who cares about what all that means, is just a dupe for others. We are here in this chapel with a great responsibility. We go forth from here proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ. We proclaim the truth that Jesus Christ died for us, that he rose from the dead to save us. We are saved. Alleluia, we say at Easter. Alleluia, we are saved. And you know the amazing thing about all that? It is the truth. When Jesus traveled around what we now call Israel, he made extraordinary statements. Statements that were hard for many to believe. So hard for them to believe that they walked away from him. It was just too much. And the most preposterous of all was that he would be killed and rise from the dead in 3 days. That was crazy. But he did it. And then his followers figured out something else. That if the most preposterous of all of his statements were true, then everything else that he said was true as well. Our way to peace and happiness, our responsibility to care for others, all those things he taught us, it was all true and remains true. The truth matters, my brothers and sisters. Being true to our word matters. The truth is not something to play with. It is what we depend on. It's what our children depend on. The truth that Jesus gave us and the truth that binds us together. You and I cannot accept the notion that to be an honorable person, one who has integrity, one who cares about what all that means, is just a dupe for others. I'm going to close with a passage I read yesterday at morning prayer from Psalm 119. I will keep your commands. You, O Lord, are close. Your commands are truth. Long have I known that your will is established forever.